All right, let's talk about how to comp chords, like if you were playing with a bass player and you didn't have to play that bass line. This would be pretty common, if you were playing, a gig and you had a bass player on the gig, you're probably not going to be playing that bass line. It's good to know the bass line just in case you ever are called upon to have to play it on a gig, which that does happen from time to time. But, and also if you're playing solo piano or, in your home or whatnot. Let me explain what it is that I'm doing here. I'm adding, actually, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it first and then I'll explain it. Okay, that way you get to hear what it sounds like. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. And it just keeps looping, right? I have a special play-along track that just loops those first 8 measures. Why just the first 8 measures? Well, because I find it helpful if you break it down so that you're only playing a little bit so you can focus on that, right? Now, the play-along track has the entire progression on there as well. So as you get more adept at playing the first 8 measures, then you can move on and play the rest of it as well. But let's talk about how I'm coming up with these chords. First of all, the left-hand chords are super easy. It's exactly the same chords that you were playing in the right hand. So just take whatever you're doing in the right hand, which before was this, right? Okay, these chords, I'm just going to play that with my left hand now, okay? Now in the right hand, I'm not going to just double the chord. Sometimes people will do that, they'll just double the chord. The reason I don't like to do that is because, well, it doesn't really add anything, does it? It's the same chord structure, just doubled into the right hand. Now, if you don't know how to do that, that's a good exercise to try. Just going, just going through and being able to play those same chords in the right hand as well. It is also a technique that you can use if you want that real blocky sound, okay? So it's something that you can utilize now and again in your playing. What I'm doing here instead is I'm playing some very open sounding chords in the right hand. So let's take a look at what I'm doing. I'm doing the 9th in octaves, and then I add in the 5th. And when I go up to the B minor, I have the 7th, and then I have the 3rd in here. So you notice that I'm choosing an octave, right? And the octave can be a chord tone or a tension. So in this case, it's the 7th. And then I'm choosing something that's a 4th or 5th away. So there's going to be either a 4th down here, right? Or a 4th up here, or a 5th up there, okay? So you can see that in this case, it's 5th on top, and it's the interval of a 4th on the bottom. Same thing here. I just moved up a step. So I have a 4th there and a 5th there. So that 4th and 5th, those two intervals, complement nicely when we have thirds in the left hand, especially in a case like this on the F where we have a crushed 2nd here, a 3rd, and a 3rd. It's nice to have that open sound up top, okay? When I go to the E, I just moved up again. And you notice I'm like, trying to get this growing line going on in my right hand. So you hear it keeps going up and up and up. So, right, so it provides a real nice treat for the ear to hear that, that line up there. So anyway, on the B minor, I have the 7th, the 3rd, and the 7th. When I go to E, I have the 5th, the root, and the 5th. When I go up to B flat, I have the 9th, the 5th, and the 9th. Now this 9-5-9, you could play almost on any of these chords. So if I did it on the F, if I did it on the B, it would be 9-5. If I did it on the E, it would be 9-5-9. If I did it on B flat, 9-5-9. If I did it on E flat 7, it would be 9-5-9. I could also do the 13 as well on a E flat 7, or on a dominant 7th chord rather. But anyway, so back to the B flat, 9-5-9. And when I go to the E flat 7, I change it a little bit now. Notice the difference in the intervals. Now it's a 5th and a 4th. one of the reasons I'm doing that is it provides a little bit of a different sound in the ear. You're used to hearing now fourth and fifth, right? Fourth and fifth, and now it's fifth and fourth. But also look at what happens. See how I keep that common tone? This is the fifth of B flat. It now becomes the ninth of the E flat 7 chord. And then I end up going to the root. Okay, so I go back to the fourth and fifth 7. Right? So what you want to try doing is playing your chords, just the stock chords in the left hand, right, that you were doing before in the right hand. And the right hand now you're going to be playing an octave and then putting a note in the middle. That's the most basic way of thinking about it. It's going to be an octave and a note in the middle. Now if you're confused as to what note in the middle to put, don't even put the note in the middle. Just start with the octaves, okay? Here's my ninth, okay? Try the ninth on all the chords. Yeah. Ninth sounds great. So ninth on F. Okay, let me go ahead and play that. I'll just do the ninths in octaves. Great sound. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. Now you just start adding in that fifth in there, so you have the ninth and the fifth. Okay. Ninth and fifth. Ninth and fifth. And then you can also do the example that I wrote out here. So have fun playing around with that. This is also a nice trick to learn if you're doing, jazz chords. I don't have the play along in front of me, but let's say I'm going to do a blues. Playing these dominant seventh rootless voicings down here. 9, 5, and 9. 9, 5, and 9. C7, 9, 5, and 9. B flat 7. 9, 5, and 9, F7, 9, 5, and 9. All right, so having that 9, 5, and 9, that's a great little trick for comping two-handed chords. See you in the last chapter.